Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. I've got two letters today from viewers, both asking kind of the same kind of questions. First question is from Kathy, and she says, I'm looking to sell my Kubota. I have an interested buyer, but have no idea what kind of price to ask. Hoping you can help. And in the notes, it's a 2018 BX1880, so it's a small tractor, and it has added a hard cab with heat. That's one letter today. And the other letter comes from Danny, and he says, due to health issues, I'm going to have to sell my tractor. It's a 2019 Kubota L3301 with a loader bucket, with third function added, 4x4 hydrostat. How do I find its resale value? I am in Northwest Georgia. Well, Danny and Kathy, used equipment values are kind of subjective. And what I would normally tell you may not apply today. I'm going to post a link to a video at the end that tells you how in normal times you can go online and find estimated values and kind of extrapolate them up to retail values. First thing, let's talk about the difference between the wholesale and retail value. If I'm a dealer and you're wanting to trade me a tractor, I'm going to give you wholesale value for it, and then I'm going to make my money by selling it at retail. And there's usually a 10 to 20% margin in there somewhere, and I have to figure out if I have to recondition your tractor or fix something on it. That's got to come out of that number too. So that's the difference in wholesale and retail value. If you're selling it yourself, you can get retail value out of it. You'll get more than if you trade it in with the dealer. But a lot of people don't like to dink with that, and I get that. You're asking people to come on your property and know that you own a tractor, and tractors get stolen. So a lot of people don't like to dink with that. So how do you determine a tractor's value? Well, is there a Kelley Blue Book value or an Edmunds.com type value online? No. There is an organization, a dealer organization that accumulates used values, and it's based on the honor system. And so when a dealer sells a tractor, a used tractor, he reports it to the association, and they compile all those numbers, and then they issue a book. I don't even know if they still print the book. They probably just have it online, but they have all these values online, and they'll tell a dealer this is trade value, wholesale, and this is retail value on it, but it's all based on the honor system. I've been in the dealer world for a long time, not sure how much honor there is. If I'm a Case dealer or New Holland or Kubota dealer, if I'm a whatever dealer, I'm going to report my stuff high and report my competitors' stuff that I traded for and sold low, so that kills their resale value, helps mine. Maybe. Would I do that? Maybe. Don't know. But it's on the honor system. And when I was in the dealership world, we never went, I mean, we'd look at the book value, but that's not what we went by, because like our brands seem to always be undervalued, and we could sell them for way more than what the book said we could. And a lot of the competitors' models were overvalued. We couldn't put that much money in them. So I'm not sure that book is that good. Now, there are a couple of websites you can go to, and again, I'm going to put a link in the end of this video to those websites if you want to go through and look at that, where you can kind of get an idea of values. But today, we're in a unique situation where we're way short of inventory. We're short of new tractors. We're definitely short of used tractors. They're just not out there. So how do you determine what your tractor's worth and what impacts that? Well, let's talk about what impacts it first. There's been two events in the last 10 years that have really impacted both new equipment values and used equipment values. And the first one was Tier 4. Tier 4 is when regulations went in place where diesel engines had to be really clean in order to be sold in North America. And when those regulations went in, every company had to add either research and develop money to come up with a new engine or equipment to the tractor to deal with the particulate matter. And so in around 2013 or 2014, and that was when I was getting out of the business, the price of tractors took about a 10% jump in 1 year. Normally the price of tractors will be 2 to 3% higher every year. That's just normal. But in that 2013, 2014 time, the price of tractors went up 10%. And used tractors also came up because a lot of people didn't want the pollution stuff on it or didn't want the Tier 4 engines. And so they bought up the older tractors without that. And so we saw a corresponding rise in used tractor values. And then, of course, the other thing that happened that accelerated all this was in 2020 when COVID hit. And in 2020, the demand for tractors went way up. People got out of the city, moved to the country, bought property, and the price of and the inventory of used tractors and new tractors, the demand went up and the supply went down. So that's where we are today. So normally you could go look at auction values and look at Craigslist values and find out a value for a tractor, but we're in territory right now where the new tractors are going up, up, up. I would say from 2019 till 2021, I don't have anything to back this up. We're probably looking at prices going up from probably 10 to even maybe 15 or 20% on a lot of these tractors because all the input costs, labor went up, the trying to get the parts went up, unloading ships went up, all that stuff happened, and so the price went up. And so the old information from 2019, and it's not really that old, about values is no longer valid. And we're in a really short time of inventory and high demand. So to answer both of those questions, if I were looking to sell a tractor right now, I would call my local dealer who can't get tractors and find out what a new tractor would price at. And then I think I would price my tractor, my used tractor, if it's in good shape, about 10% below that. And that's high. That's higher than it should be. Normally, a used tractor, when you take it off the lot, will immediately be worth 20% less than what you paid for it, because the warranty clock is ticking and all that's going on. And if you bought a tractor, took it home, used it for a month and said, this is the wrong tractor for me, I want to trade it, what it's actually worth retail is about 20% below what you paid for it. And then what the dealer will give you for that, because he wants to make money, is 20% below that. So you take a big hit the day that tractor comes off the lot, and it costs a lot of money to change your mind. But today, with tractor prices going up and availability where it's at, I think you're in the driver's seat if you're wanting to sell a tractor. And I literally think, especially if it was a pre-Tier 4 tractor or a very clean late model tractor that had very few hours on it, I think you could get close to what a new one will bring because it's there and the person can drive it home. Now, I'm going to talk just a minute today about things that hurt a tractor in terms of resale value. Generally, a tractor 30 horsepower and higher with four-wheel drive, preferably, and that's less important the bigger you get. Hydro is desirable, and with R4 tires, I think you could probably ask 10% below what a new one costs and get darn close to that right now. Now, if it's under 30 horsepower, the demand for the subcompacts is just not quite as high, and there's more supply of them. So I'm thinking if you have a subcompact, like a BX1880, that size tractor, a small compact to subcompact, I don't think you're going to quite be able to do that, but I would price it 20% below a new one. Now, with Kathy's situation, a hard cab, that's a regional thing. Having a cab and heat, and a lot of it depends on the quality of the cab. If you're in the North Country, that's desirable. Where I live, if it's cab and air and heat, it's got resale value, but just cab and heat, we'd probably even take that off and not even talk about it when we were selling the tractor, and sell the tractor without it and then just throw it in on the deal at the end, because in the summer, a cab with heat is a sauna, and most people don't like to farm in a sauna. So both you guys, Danny and Kathy, price it high, you can always come down. But I'm thinking with Danny's tractor, if I were selling it, I'd find out what my local dealer had in stock and what they were asking for it, and price my tractor 10% below that. And I think you'll get a lot of calls, and a lot of people want it because they can get it right now and put it to work, and they can't do that with a local dealer. And Kathy, I would price your tractor 20% below what a new one is. And if you're in an area where hard cabs hold their value, generally a used part will bring half of what a new one is. So whatever the cost of a new hard shell cab is and heater, I figure adding half of that into the price of the tractor. And I'd price high right now, guys, because you can always come down. Now, after talking all this time about what a premium used tractors are bringing right now, I hate to tell you, there are certain tractors that won't sell that well now or ever. And I'm going to talk about those in my next video. And if you own one, I'm sorry in advance. It may be just me. When I was working in the dealership world, we couldn't get much out of them. They sat around forever, and consequently, we didn't put much money in them. But we'll talk about those next week. I appreciate you watching my videos. I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's real easy to do. Just click the mic face icon and check the bell so you're notified when I post future videos. Here's a link to my website and the Tractor Fund Store with unique items for sale for the tractor owner. It helps support my channel. And here's the video about finding used equipment values online. Thanks for watching.